Happy Wednesday and welcome to TipRanks News Bites. I'm Ari Gutman. Today is July 20th and here are our top news bites. The stock market comes roaring back with Netflix leading the charge as more investors begin betting on the fact that the market may very well have just found its bottom. Starbucks' Howard Schultz announces plans to close even more stores over safety concerns. And finally, we may be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel sooner rather than later when it comes down to the semiconductor supply chain, as the U.S. Senate voted in favor of a long-awaited chip bill. Now, be sure to sit tight for our breaking TipRanks Insider news, where we just got word that a stakeholder in an automobile parts manufacturer just invested another $1.6 million into the company and only continues to double down on it. You won't want to miss out. What a day we had yesterday, with all three major indexes rallying above their 50-day moving averages. The Dow gained 2.43%, the S&P rallied by 2.76%, the Nasdaq came in hot, shooting up by 3.11%, all after a recent Bank of America survey conducted just a week ago of nearly 300 investors expressing a dire level of investor pessimism. Now, while some traders are beginning to once again allude to the markets bottoming out, many still remain on the fence or just not sold at all. Now, Netflix, after a rather brutal handful of months, led yesterday's rallying, surging by roughly 7% after reporting a subscriber loss of 970,000 subscribers. However, it was less than their expected 2 million. As for now, futures are actually edging higher and investors are awaiting more earnings reports today from prominent industry names like Tesla, Abbott Laboratories, and United Airlines. Of course, be sure to stay updated with all the latest earnings today right here on TipRanks. With news right off the French presses, Starbucks' CEO Howard Schultz shared that more Starbucks stores will be closing. He stated, "This is just the beginning. There are going to be many more." Now, Starbucks already finalized the closures of 16 stores last week over safety concerns, as Starbucks workers supposedly reported an uptick in first-hand challenges within their communities. Those challenges range from personal safety issues and racism to mental illness, as well as rising drug usage, all stated within the reports. Now, active shooter training and other trainings were implemented, but Starbucks shared there are just some stores where they feel they're going to be unable to actually create a safe environment. However, these closures are coming in at a time when Starbucks has been facing unionization, and therefore union organizers have pointed to store closures as just a way to intimidate workers. Perhaps time will tell, but if you're interested in investing into Starbucks, be sure to monitor their stock right here on TipRanks, as it very well may experience some near-term volatility. And finally, the U.S. Senate just voted to move ahead with a piece of legislation that will provide billions of dollars in subsidies as well as tax credits for the semiconductor industry. Now, the bill itself was a government pushback against China and, moreover, to ease those supply chain troubles as the U.S. continues its efforts to decrease dependence on foreign-made semiconductors. Although the actual full text of the bill was not yet released, Senate aides shared there was a measure of $54 billion in subsidies for U.S. semiconductor companies, all of which should lead investors to focus on U.S. chip makers in the coming weeks. Now, for the moment you've all been patiently waiting for, our breaking TipRanks Insider news. Superior Industries International, a globally recognized manufacturer of cast aluminum wheels for the world's largest automobile company, saw a spike in its share price after Mill Road Capital bought another lump sum of shares in the amount of $943,000. Now, just within the past 14 days, they've poured $1.6 million into this investment. Following, Superior Industries' stock share price jumped over $4 per share. Now, at this time, the company has a smart score of 9 on TipRanks. It's a moderate buy from analysts, and blogger sentiment remains bullish. So if this is an investment you think may be fitting for your personal portfolio, just make sure to do all your due diligence right here on TipRanks before making any major investment decisions. TipRankers, that's our news for today. Just before we wrap up, I have to know what your thoughts are on this market rally that we're experiencing. Have we really hit a bottom, or is the market just overreacting? And of course, also let me know your thoughts about all of this Starbucks saga. Are the closures for safety measures, or is this just a giant workaround to combat unionization? Let our team know your thoughts by leaving a comment or two below. Now, as always, be sure to stay up to date, stay connected by joining us right here on TipRanks TV, all the shows you just cannot afford to miss. Now, until next time, thank you for tuning in.